Hi everyone, welcome to 1v1. I'm joined by OXY at Riot Games Arena. Cloud9's coming off of a loss to NRG. So OXY, how are you feeling after that game?
I mean, I think we should have won, but we threw a lot of around. So I mean, we'll have a rematch. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that second map was particularly close. So I mean, you guys had a lead at halftime. So what was kind of the difference in terms of like you guys kind of being playing them a little closer in that second map?
We just played worse, I think, and we just got ecoed. We got ecoed 3 times, which is might as well we might be setting records for getting ecoed out here. And then the second map was good, but we just did small mistakes here and there, which led us to lose the games.
So in this game, you got to face off against Demon One. I know there was some banter before. So how did it feel about facing him in a match?
I mean, it felt good. We were both killing each other back, like we were just playing the game. It was fun.
So I wanted to take a step back and kind of learn a little bit more about your background. So I was curious, where you grew up and kind of what were some of the games that you played like before you played Valorant?
So I grew up in Houston, Texas. Yeah, I'm a Texan. And then I started off with, I think, first game was Roblox. Then after that, I went to Minecraft, played a lot of Minecraft. And then I went to, I don't remember what my first FPS was. Maybe it was a long, long time ago. I played on my cousin's CSGO account. That's probably where I first started my FPS journey. And then I bought a CSGO account for myself, and then I lost it like a week after. So I didn't really play CSGO. And then I started to play Overwatch. I think Overwatch was my first, and I played Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege. And then I think when I was like 13, maybe 14, I got top 500 in Overwatch. I was like, wow, I'm not bad at games. Then for the first time, I switched over to Valorant, and I hit Radiant. Like after the first season or after beta, I hit Radiant, and then or Valorant, and then I was like, wow, I might not be bad at this game. And people started telling me, oh, you should go pro. You're pretty good. And then here I am now.
Mm-hmm. So I know that you've been grinding kind of at the tier 2 and tier 3 level last couple of years, with G2 last year on Challengers. What were kind of some of the things that you learned the past couple of years that have kind of led to your success and led you to get picked up by a VCT Americas team?
I think one thing I learned was just to keep confidence. 1, 2, to be disciplined is probably, and listen. I think those are the 3 most important components in anything in general.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed that on Twitter, right? I see that LFT label with you, like on your Twitter handle, and you refer to yourself as like the LFT leader. So where does that kind of come from?
Well, I saw it in different games. People had LFT here and there in their names. I was like, wow, what does this even mean? And then I put it in my name, and I think, I like to believe that I was definitely maybe not the first, but probably the most renowned LFT. Like I was always at the top, playing ranked, always in streams. Shazam also blew up my name because he always thought I was a stream sniper. And then I played pro, and that's it. It just blew up.
So I saw an interview recently with Dot Esports where it was with Vanity, and he mentioned that you're a really big fan of Faker.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to know kind of where does that fandom come from, and kind of like what do you admire about him, and maybe what are some of the things that you've taken away from his gameplay that you've maybe applied to your gameplay?
Well, honestly, forgotten the last question. I did play a lot of League. It's one of my first games. I played a lot of League. Of course, I watched Worlds. Oh, I didn't watch it that, but T1 was always like, oh my god, they're the best team in the world because they won like several championships back then when they were going on their run. And then I was like, oh wow, this guy's just the GOAT. Like as when everyone calls him, he's just the best player in the game. He has the best mechanics. He's the best everything. I just want to be that guy. He's just like who I look up to, and that's where Faker came from. I just love him.
What about like some other Valorant players? Like, are there certain Valorant players that you kind of looked up to, and have there been any that you've met maybe over the past few months since you've joined C9? I know you guys were in Korea and Japan playing against a lot of international teams. So who are some of the players that maybe you looked up to, and some that you've met that you've been like really excited to meet?
Some of the players, the main one, the one I always watched since the beginning of Valorant is TenZ, of course. Just the GOAT of Valorant, of course, best mechanical. He's had that 1 year at Reykjavik. He's just the best, and I always looked up to him because I want to be like that. He's just sentence. And then also I looked up to Ye, and I not met him, but we played online, and then he said I was pretty good, so I'm also happy about that. So, and I don't know if there's anyone else. Maybe Fnatic. I met Fnatic. I love all the Fnatic players. I think they have like the best core, like best aimers, best like thinkers. They have like everything. I don't know what's wrong with that team. And then I met them in Tokyo actually. Played against them, and I did pretty well against them. So yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about just how it came about that you joined C9. Like, did they reach out to you? Did you have any other like offers that you were considering?
I didn't have offers, but I had trials with 2 different teams. Obviously, I had one with Leviathan. I was gonna try with them, but then C9 out of nowhere, out of the blue, my coach DM or my old coach on G2 DM, he's like, "Do you want to play franchising? Do you want to play tier 2? I mean tier 1." I was like, "Yeah, for what team? I don't know." I was like, Cloud9. I was like, "Oh, let me investigate about this." And then I trialed, and then I did all this, and then now I'm here.
Was that Emmy that you're referring
Yes,
to?
I'm here.
Yeah. So what's it like for you? Like how has that transition been? Because he was obviously your coach on G2, and now he's your coach on C9. So how has it helped that you have the same coach the past couple of years?
Well, basically, he's like like a father to me. He's just like always. He's like my first signed team. He's also the first person to like tell me, "Oh, come play." Like, because he told me he was the one and Shazam to vouch for me to join G2. So I was like, "Oh wow." I mean, and then he coached me. He's like first like actual coach, signed all of this, and then he just taught me like the basics of the game.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.